G'day folks, Scott here. Today I'm reviewing Midsommar. Midsommar is a new movie by Ari Aster, who directed Hereditary. I really enjoyed Hereditary. I know some people did, some people didn't. It was kind of divisive with the horror community, but I loved it. I thought it was an incredibly strong movie with strong performances, and I was pretty excited to see his new film. As always, I don't watch trailers. I didn't know anything about this. The vibe I was given by people where they told us kind of had a Wicker Man vibe, the Village vibe to it, and I was like, okay, cool. That was all I knew. The trailer, as always, gave away too much. I'm glad I didn't see it, as always. I don't want to say too much about the story, to be honest. If you've seen the trailers, then you know the story. If you haven't seen the trailers and you're going in blind, then you probably should watch this after you've seen it. I'm not going to do spoilers, but I'm going to talk about story elements that were in the trailer, so there's your choice. The story in a nutshell is a group of American college students going to Sweden to go to a yearly festival where one of their friends comes from this place. And they travel over there and take part in these festivities. It's a community out in the middle of nowhere, which gave it that village vibe. Obviously they're going to another country with other customs and other religions and stuff, and I loved all of that. I don't know anything about Swedish law or religion, so I don't know whether this is based on any sort of actual events or religion or ceremonies or anything, but it came off as something that was very real, and I loved it for that. Performances were great. The main character, the girl, I can't remember the character's name, she put in a hell of a performance. She had a, very dark and disturbing past events in her life, and, she sort of went just clinging on to this boyfriend who was a shit boyfriend. She basically went on this trip because she needed him. She needed this security blanket that he'd become, and went along and, events unfold. Now, this has been out for weeks in America, so, any American watching this, you're probably not even clicking it because you've seen a million reviews and that, but it only came out in Australia the other day, hence me just going to see it and putting up this review. In Australia, it got an R rating, which is, I think, NC-17 in America, which is pretty rare, but will unfortunately stop more people being able to see it in theaters because of the rating. Did it deserve the rating? Not really. I've seen gorier stuff in MA-15, but I guess the themes in it helped it lift it to that loft. I felt a little overhyped. I couldn't avoid a article clickbait heading thing I'd seen a while back where, way before the film came out, Jordan Peele, Get Out guy, put up, Midsommar is the most disturbing imagery I've ever seen on film. And that sets off things in my head like, oh my God, what's this going to be? Obviously, I've seen some pretty extreme horror, and so straight away I start going to the upper realms of what I've seen, and I guess, sitting through it, it's not that disturbing. There were some cool scenes in it, and like I said, the themes were probably stronger than the graphic violence, but as a package, it worked really well shot. One great thing about Hereditary that he did was he shot it in a manner that was very not traditional Hollywood, and there was incredible camera work and long wide shots, and the sets were great and everything. I feel this time, at least in two shots that stick out in my mind, there was kind of camera fuckery just for the sake of trying to be clever, and I thought it was a bit try-hardy and didn't like it. It was only two scenes, they were pretty early in the movie, but one of them the camera pans unnecessarily or zooms through a plane window on a big jumbo thing as they're coming into Sweden, and it sort of goes through the window and then is all buffeted by the wind and stuff looking over, and I was like, okay, what did that tell me? Nothing, that there's turbulence outside a plane. And another horrendously long upside down shot of driving through roads, which has been done in Evil Dead and the Evil Dead remake and many other movies, so again it seemed a little unnecessarily, but that's a couple of not even 30 seconds of footage out of 2.5 hours, and the rest of the film was beautiful. Vibrant colors, great like sets and landscapes, and really good use of camera work to simulate hallucinogenic drugs that were ingested by certain characters in the movie and stuff. Like, all that was very, very well done. I reckon that's it. I definitely recommend, if you're a horror person, go see it. It's not scary horror. It's, you know, sort of disturbing, for lack of a better word. It's a thematic, you know. There's no jump scares. There's none of that kind of shit. It's just something, a different take on something we're pretty familiar with, but having it in Sweden and using, you know, like I said, religion and customs that we're not familiar with as Westerners, I think that works really, really well. So I give it a big thumbs up. Really liked it. I look forward to seeing it again. And I think that's it. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.